Hey, quirky humans! Today we are talking all about decluttering, but with a little twist, because those one-size-fits-all approaches don't actually work really well for neurodivergent brains. So today we're going into how to adapt them to a brain that doesn't work the normal way. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. The first step is figuring out if you're an all or nothing neurodivergent brain when it comes to decluttering, or if you're a bit by bit neurodivergent brain when it comes to decluttering. Now, are you the type of person who hyper focuses on a project and won't stop until it gets done? Or are you the type of person who burns out fast and gets overwhelmed when a project seems too big and therefore works better by doing things a little bit by a little bit? Neurodivergent brains will be both of these types in different scenarios. So you have to ask yourself which kind you are in the specific scenario of decluttering your space. If you are an all or nothing person, then there's approaches for you. And if you are a bit by bit person, then there are approaches for you. And today we're going to talk about 5 really common decluttering strategies or rules that are always floating around on the internet and how to adapt them to both of these types. So the first one is the pull everything out method. This theory talks all about how you should pull everything out. So for example, let's say you're decluttering your closet. You're going to pull every single thing out, all the drawers, everything that's hanging, everything that's up in the crannies and the nooks and the floor, everything. You're just going to pull it all out and empty that closet 100%. Because when you see everything you have, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I actually have so much. And then you'll be more motivated to get rid of more stuff. And then the end result actually feels better because you can see a massive difference. Now, I'm sure we've all seen those like massive decluttering YouTube videos, and the results are awesome. However, if you are neurodivergent, this might not be the best approach. So how do we get that pull everything out method, and how do we adapt it to the different types? For the all or nothing type, I am going to encourage you to pull everything out, except I'm going to encourage you to pull everything out of one area. So if you're doing the closet, as an example, instead of pulling the entire closet out, I want you to pull out one drawer. Dump all of that drawer out and then go through that drawer. Because the problem with the all or nothing method is that sometimes we also overestimate how much that motivation is going to last us. And then those piles that are left will be there for days or weeks or months, let's be honest. So do it, pull everything out, but pull everything out of a smaller area. Once you're done with that smaller area, you can pull out another area. This still allows you to do that hyper focus and go into that all or nothing mindset. However, it allows you to stop when you feel like, yeah, you're done and you haven't messed up the rest of your life. For the bit by bit person, now, again, you can do this one drawer at a time. However, the pull everything out method might not be the best approach for you. For you, it might be just going into a smaller category. If you're doing the closet, say, let me pull out my underwear first. Let me pull out my socks first. And that may be even less space than a full drawer or a full shelf or something like that. But going a little bit by a little bit will help you more. Now, again, don't try to pull everything out. This method isn't the best for you necessarily. Instead, say, okay, I'm going to do my socks. Start pulling out one sock at a time. Am I keeping this? Am I donating it? Am I selling it? Whatever you're doing with it. And then once you've emptied out the full space where all your socks are, you can put back the things that you've decided to keep. If you want to keep going, great. Keep going. If not, you've done one area, one category, okay? The second thing, and I actually love this one, I do this one every year, at least once a year, is the Mins game. Now, the Mins game was invented by the minimalists, and it is a 30-day challenge that tells you to get rid of one thing on day 1, 2 things on day 2, 3 things on day 3, and so on and so forth until you're getting rid of 28 things on day 28, 29 on day 29, and 30 on day 30. By the end of the 30 days, you will have gotten rid of 465 items. And that is an amazing amount of items. However, when motivation dwindles over time, I don't think that this is the best approach for a neurodivergent brain, or brains in general, let's be honest, to do this. So for the bit by bit person, I want you to do this in reverse. Instead of getting rid of one thing on day 1 and 2 things on day 2 and 30 on day 30, I want you to do it backwards. Get rid of 30 things on day 1, 29 things on day 2, 28 things on day 3, and so on and so forth. What happens with this is that instead of doing the hard thing at the end, you're doing the hard thing at the beginning when motivation is high. It's still broken down by days, which is great for the bit by bit person, but it's getting easier the longer you do it. For the all or nothing person, I'm more of an all or nothing person. So this is the way I do it. I will set aside time and I will just go through a bunch of areas in my house and get rid of as much as I can. So that might mean that on day 1, I get rid of 90 things. That's great. I just mark them off. Even if they go into the next days, I mark them off, I mark them off, I mark them off. And then if it takes me 3 days to go through the full MINS game, hey, I got rid of 465 items in 3 days. If it takes me 7 days, that's fine. If it takes me all 30 days, that's fine. Because what matters isn't how long it takes you. What matters is getting the progress of getting rid of those 465 items. Because I'm a hyperfocuser, it works better for me to just get rid of as many items as I can from the get-go and dedicate bigger spaces of time to get rid of more items than to try and get rid of like 1 item or 2 items or 3 items on each day. The third thing is the 1 in, 1 out rule. Now, this rule is great in the sense that in theory, right, what it tells you is every time you bring a new item into your house, you have to get rid of 1 item. And so you should always have the same amount of items in your home. However, for a neurodivergent brain, it's really easy to get distracted and never actually get rid of the other item. And so we forget about this rule and we need a different approach. For the bit by bit person, this approach, in my view, would be to keep a rehoming basket somewhere in your house. And when you see something that you can get rid of, just put it in there. Now, when you bring a new item into your house, you can just take something from the rehoming basket and give it away in the moment. That's doing the 1 in, 1 out. Or simply, when the basket is full, get rid of it all. That's it. You're still constantly getting rid of things as you bring new things in, but you're just doing it in a way that works for your brain instead of doing it as a like, I brought a new thing home, now I need to focus on what I need to get rid of and go find a thing that I can get rid of. For the all or nothing approach, I suggest doing this seasonally. So once a month or once a quarter, right? Go through your house and see anything that you immediately know you can get rid of, put it all in a box, donate it or trash it or give it away or sell it, whatever you want to do with it, but get it out of your house. The next thing we're going to talk about is the keep, donate, or trash sorting system. This is really typical, and what it's used for is when you're decluttering a space, you have 3 boxes or 3 piles: keep, donate, and trash. The first thing is I like calling donate rehome, because there are things that I'm going to donate, there's things I'm going to sell, there's things that I might know that a family member or friend of mine will really appreciate, and so I want to give it to them. So that allows me to make that decision later without saying immediately, I'm just going to donate this, right? So first thing, it's keep, rehome, trash. Now, for the bit by bit person, how do we do this? Instead of going and taking 1 item and saying, do I want to keep this? Do I want to trash this? Or do I want to rehome this? Instead of doing that, you're going to look at an area. Let's say you have a drawer open and you're going to say, is there anything that I can see immediately that is trash? Pick them out. Once you're done, you say, is there anything I can see immediately that I would like to rehome? Pick them out. And then, is there anything I can see immediately that I want to keep? Pick it out. And then if there's anything left in the drawer, ask yourself those questions again. Is there anything I can see immediately that is trash? Yep, add it to the trash pile. Now, what is the difference between doing it this way versus doing it the regular way? The difference is you're not taking the value of each item. You're not saying, hey, this thing, is it this, this, or that? because that is the decision that you have to make on each singular item. Instead, you're telling your brain, is there anything that's obviously trash? Your brain can identify that really quickly, and you're not making a decision about a particular item. So it takes less executive functioning to do it this way. Now, for the all or nothing approach, I suggest starting in one area, for example, a drawer, and going through the full process of, is this trash? Is this keep? Is this rehoming? Am I donating this? Whatever your categories are. And just doing it one area at a time. So if you finish a full area, you can move on to the next one. But if you run out of steam, at least you did one full area. And the last one is the 10 minutes a day rule. Now, this is a rule that says that you should spend 10 minutes a day, every single day of your life, decluttering stuff, which is great in theory because, again, it means you're always keeping down your stuff. It means you're always culling. However, again, it doesn't work great for neurodivergent brains because we forget to do it, or it feels overwhelming, or we just don't want to do it that day. And then we miss a day, and so we don't want to do it the next day. Have a whole video on that and habits and neurodivergent brains. But the way to adapt this to a neurodivergent brain is to either make it bigger and less constant, or to make it way, way smaller. So for the bit by bit person, it is to make it way, way smaller. Instead of saying 10 minutes a day, tie it to a habit you already have. Maybe it's that every time you are folding laundry, I don't know, you get rid of something, one item of clothing, for example, right? Or maybe it is time-based, but it's even smaller. It's that you spend 2 minutes a day decluttering. The idea is to make it as small as possible so that you don't get overwhelmed by it. For the all or nothing person, it is about doing it bigger but less constant. So instead of spending 10 minutes a day, maybe you're spending 20 minutes at the end of each week, or 40 minutes at the end of each week, or an hour at the end of each week. Or maybe it's a full day of decluttering every month. It's about making it bigger but less constant because you are an all or nothing hyperfocuser. So those broken up times don't work as well for you. So there you have it, decluttering in a way that works for you and your brain. The key is to stop forcing yourself into methods that don't work for your brain and instead finding ways to change them and adapt them so that they work for you. Now, let me know in the comments, are you more of a bit by bit person, or are you more of an all or nothing person? And of course, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I make new videos like this every single Friday. Until then, stay wild, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next one.